everyone, this is Persephone, together with you today for another disturbing video. Trigger warning, it may upset some viewers, so you take a break and come later to finish watching because this is important. Today we're going to talk about the invalidated beta man. Invalidation is one of the worst forms of abuse. It's extreme emotional abuse and almost, no one talks about it really. It was very hard for me too to actually find resources, and after I found them, it started to transform my life, so I believe it can help you. Imagine that you have watched my previous videos, you have done some research on narcissism, and you suspect that your mother is in fact a very serious case of narcissistic personality disorder. And you start thinking, like, distressed, upset, what are you going to do? Because I scared you, and because also, like, seriously, between you and me, if you remain her emotional tampon for the rest of your life and stuck in the same house with her, poor and porn addicted, you're going to die in a ditch. So naturally, because you're a human being, you want to share this with other people. And usually the closest people are your friends. Or you may share it with your relatives, like your sister, your brother, your cousin, whoever you're close to. I bet my life, and I value myself, I wouldn't bet it easily if I wasn't sure I'm going to win, that these people are going to jump immediately to invalidate your perception and tell you, oh my God, she's your mother, she means well, you're overreacting, she has empty nest syndrome, she's really going through hard times, she's going through menopause. Or if they're also abusive, usually this is your dad doing that shit, they're going to gaslight you and they're going to say, this never happened. If, for example, you said my mother used to breastfeed me until I was 12, and she used to call me her boyfriend and some other extremely disturbing emotional incest stuff, your dad is going to say, it wasn't that long, you're exaggerating. Or, it never happened. Where was I? I don't know. What are you talking about? This can actually send you into an emotional spiral. I've endured extreme abuse in my life, and that's not just me doing pity parties here. Even psychiatrists told me. And if you ask me, what was worse, your mother abusing you or everyone else invalidating you, I would choose the invalidation. Invalidation is re-traumatizing, destabilizing, and actually preventing you from getting out. It's like you're invisible, you don't have a voice, and sometimes you can even feel that you're the only person with eyes in the blind people's village. That the woman is crazy. She's controlling everyone. She ruined your dad's life. She's ruining your life. Why isn't anyone seeing it? So I'm here today to tell you that if you want someone to believe you, I believe you. And how do I know that when I don't know your specific case? It's because narcissistic women, histrionic women, bipolar women, crazy women, and all of these dysfunctional categories have very, very similar traits. Traits that I mention in my videos. And traits you can find online if you do research on the terms that I just mentioned. So if you did research and your mother ticks every box, it's true. I don't care if other people try to talk you out of it and convince you that you're crazy, but it's true. So don't doubt yourself anymore, don't doubt your memory, don't doubt your ears and your eyes and everything that has happened in your life. It's real, you are in deep shit, she's psycho, she doesn't want you to find anyone, she doesn't want you to ever leave the house, she wants you under her thumb for the rest of your life. Because that's the way of her dealing with her failed marriage, her toxic sex life with your father, like yikes for even mentioning this, but I have to mention it. That's your way of dealing with these problems. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you just found this video, please go to the Doomed Beta Man video, I explain there. The next question after we recover from the shock is, why? Why is everyone telling me this doesn't happen when it does happen? Are they crazy? Do they just want me to die like trapped in that house? What's going on? There are several reasons for that, and it took me a long time to decipher them. So I'm going to briefly mention the most important categories. Reason number one. The disposable emotional tampon incel. You have a 90% chance of being that category if you have sisters. Usually girls can pick up that their mother is crazy faster than boys because intuition, because women in general talk and communicate feelings a lot more, or because somehow they stumble upon the information. When you're playing computer games, let's say she read Cosmopolitan, she read Psychology Today, and she realized her mom is toxic. The easiest way to get rid of that problem is to just dump it on someone else. I knew a guy, a real case, who told me that his older sister said, once I figured out that our mom is fucked up news, that's what she called her mom, fucked up news, I realized that she's not going to let me get off the hook. So I have to find a boyfriend and move out fast, and you're going to have to stay home to take care of mom. That was a person of Asian ancestry. I'm not going to say which type of Asian, because I said, someone has to take care of our parents. So I'm just going to tell everyone that our mom is great and I have a good relationship with her because it makes me look good. And I'm just going to say that you are her caretaker because, let's face it, you're ugly, you're not going to get married, so that's that. So she decided that for the guy before she even asked the guy. Now, do you really think that once your sister or some other female relative, could be your grandma who decided, it could be your aunt, any female in the family who just doesn't want to deal with your mother, she's not going to validate to you that she's crazy, because if she does, you're going to start planning your escape plan. The same way she does, or she did, and she escaped. And hey, who is going to be the emotional tampon slave here if it's not going to be you? They're going to have to find someone else. And in many cases, that may not be possible. So, congrats, it's you. You are going to be doomed to have no life for everyone else's convenience. Okay, I'm being sarcastic here. We're not going to let this happen. Your dad, who is usually invalidating or saying things like, son, get your mother off my back, or don't aggravate her, or my favorite, this is just who she is. But if I go full psycho mode, people are not going to say about me, this is just who she is, she fights back on abuse. They're going to say I'm psycho, the double standard. Your dad has lost the battle with life. He has been a cuck, not in a sexy, fetish way, in the I'm getting no sex and giving away my money and suffering and coping way. So if he admits that your mother is toxic, he may have to admit that he married the wrong person and essentially threw his life away. Or if you believe the red pill, he just threw his life away by marrying in the first place. A lot of people cope by telling themselves things are not that bad, and they invalidate themselves, especially men. So if he can't help himself see the truth, he's not going to help you. Another reason could be that your dad is coping with some ways that make your mom tolerable. He could be cheating. He could be going to happy ending places. He could be smoking crack. We don't know what he's doing. But he has some way to balance it. The people who don't have a way to balance it, they are the alcoholic dads, the ones who went to buy cigarettes and never returned, and so on. So if your dad is still around, maybe he has some copes, and he essentially doesn't really care about you because he can't. I'm not saying this to excuse him, but a lot of people are suffering so much in life that they can barely keep themselves going, sleepwalking through life. So you may have your dad, usually it's dad, but it could be other relatives as well, that they do the best they can, and they're thinking, okay, figure it out, you're an adult now. Even if you are 72 and 400 pounds and bedbound and living with your mom, they're going to say, well, son, if you want things to change, just get an apartment, just get a job, just lose 300 pounds and move out, and you're going to be fine. And no one is telling you a step-by-step plan to do that. No one is telling you that if you're 77 and you have never worked, there's not going to be a job in the market for you. They just spout platitudes to help you. There could be people that are brainwashed by horrible religions, and they say that you need to be enmeshed with your parents no matter what, Confucian culture. There are a lot of things that I could say about being filial, especially a filial son. But I believe that you are not truly filial if you throw your life in the trash to be enmeshed with your mother and to enable all of her pathology and be abused and essentially abuse your wife if you end up in some kind of arranged marriage and abuse everyone around you. Because you are not on this planet to suffer for other people's convenience. And I don't care if Confucius is known for 5,000 years, that is plainly fucked up. Okay, it's time we open our eyes and we start using science and psychiatry. You left your mother's womb a long time ago, people trying to shove you back in there so that she doesn't bitch all day. This is plain wrong. I don't support this. You shouldn't support this either. Or last but not least, the other case is that they are also abusive. This is something very dark that I'm going to say. This is the most triggering part of the video. There are people who just enjoy seeing you suffer. From schadenfreude, people who just like seeing others having a hard time, to plain sadists. Or there are people that they had a fucked up childhood and their sick way of dealing with it instead of going to therapy is watching you going through the same by recreating it. This is something that after I first realized and I read about it, I was sitting staring at the wall for 2 days trying to process it. For example, my mother did a job that she hated all of her life with a passion. And she tried everything she could to make me do the same job. And of course she didn't succeed because that was not going to happen. But I'm just saying that I was thinking, I know many parents who love their job, who are successful at their job, and they want their kids to follow their footsteps. Wrong, but okay, I can see the logic behind it. Let's say someone is a dentist, they have a very successful, like, multi-million-dollar clinic, and they want one of their kids to be a dentist. You hate your job. And your job is some kind of hand-to-mouth job, like, it's not a business. So why do you want me to do the same? Because she fucked up her life and it triggers her too much. She can't stand it seeing someone else making a different choice. It makes her feel like the worst failure. These people cannot process their failure and their bad choices the healthy way, which is, well, it's bad, shit happens, what now? That's the healthy way to process it. Stop crying over the dead horse or the spilled milk or whatever it is. They can't do that. Their way is, if I'm unhappy, everyone else needs to be unhappy because then I can tolerate it or I can witness it from a distance and feel better about it myself. So if there are other people with toxic mothers, for example your friends, who are also being cucked by their mothers and they're incels because of their mothers and they don't have a career because of their mothers, because they don't know how to drive or they have some kind of other infantilizing tendencies, these people don't want you to get away because then they have to look at their own shit life and say, hey, what am I doing? This guy did it. What am I doing? But if we are all together, enmeshed, coping, drinking, watching porn 7 hours a day, then it's not really that bad. It's mind-numbing. People are averse to extreme pain, but they can be very, very tolerant to moderate pain. So long, moderate pain is something that you can actually get used to. And before you know it, you're 77, you're 400 pounds, and you wasted your life. So if you found yourself in everything that I'm saying, it's time to start planning an escape plan. Things are going to get worse. I've mentioned in past videos that the virus that shall not be named because it brings the demonetization fairy, it was only the beginning and it was the door that we needed to pass for the worst stuff. So the time to start planning your escape plan and taking charge of your life is now. If you say, okay, where do I go from now? Thing number one, I have a book. It's above on all of my links that gives you a step-by-step plan to start transforming your life. I have an OnlyFans where we can talk about your specific situation. And I have many, many other videos with advice that they are free. YouTube pays me, but you don't have to pay me, that you can sit down and watch and start making steps for your own escape plan. I also have a video about the escape plan that is very detailed. You start from there. I'm not going to help people who don't want to do anything, they just want to sit in the couch, watch the video, and they do everything for them. First of all, because every situation is different, and second, because I'm sorry, if you are this type of potato sloth, you're not getting out. So I'm not going to waste my time. You need to start feeling that you need to take matters into your own hands, okay? Otherwise, this is not going to work. I'm waiting for your comments. Things that they are transphobic, homophobic, or other crap are just going to go to spam immediately, because I can get in trouble for things people write in the comment section, even though I'm not the one who wrote them. Yes, YouTube is that psychotic sometimes. So, if you have written crap, please go back, read what you wrote again, and ask yourselves, would I want this in my own channel, or would I want this plastered next to my real face? If the answer is no, just get rid of it. Thank you for watching.